great to see you again. If it's your first time here, thanks so much for stopping by. If it's your second and third time here, returning time. Really appreciate the support as we grow the community, guys. It's been phenomenal. Thank you so much. Um, hey, I want to take a few minutes and just and talk a little bit about my C6 Corvette and tell a little story. Um, so I'm an enthusiast, and every day I have a 2007 LS2 C6 Corvette. It's a Z51 car with a manual transmission, and every day I look through classified ads in a sense online, Car Gurus or Auto Tempest, Marketplace, those kinds of things. I look at Corvettes every day just to see what the market has available and how prices are holding, for one, and then for two, if there's something interesting that I may want to swap into. So the other day I was on Marketplace. I was actually looking at glass target tops because I was thinking about buying a glass top for my C6 because I only had the yellow fiberglass top, and a transparent roof would be pretty cool, at least for me, because this is my summer vehicle. It's not a yearly daily drive or anything like that for me here in Ohio. We still have snow on the ground, and it's middle of winter right now in January. So I don't get to drive this that much, but when I do, I would kind of enjoy maybe the open roof or looking out the top. And I had a Camaro when I was younger. It had T-tops. They were glass T-tops, and it was a cool experience. And I kind of missed it. My wife, when I got this car, she made that comment. She's like, "It's too bad it doesn't have the glass roof." And I kind of told myself, if I could find one, I'm gonna pick it up or get it for her. So I found one. Trying to negotiate with the guy. I don't know if he's even returned the messages. I haven't checked yet. Not a big deal. Not necessarily super relevant to this story, but as I look through the ads, my C6 has been a great car. I've had it for about 10 months now. I drive it as often as I can. I love this thing. I have nothing bad to say about it. The most negative things that I've had happen with this car, about this car to me, would be the chrome wheels are one of my least favorite things in the headlights, and you guys know that from other videos. So, like I said, phenomenal car. But as I look at Corvettes every day specifically, my heart's always kind of been set on something different. A C6 was never my first option when it came to purchasing a Corvette. I'm actually a big fan of C5s. To me, I really like the C5 FRC, the fixed roof coupe body style. Personally, I think that's the best looking Corvette that they've made probably the past 30 years or so. Even, don't hate on me, guys, even including C6s and the C8s, because I do like those too. And C7s, I got love for them all, guys. But I'm just saying, that C5 for me really resonates because I graduated high school in 1999. I got my driver's license in 1996. C5 came out when I was 17, 1997. So it was kind of like that realistic dream car. Yeah, everybody wants a Lamborghini or Ferrari when they have that poster on your wall growing up. But maybe I did have a Ferrari on my wall or a Lamborghini. But it was one of those things. It's like it was always never really mentally in reach for me. Corvette. When I saw them in the high school parking lot, I was like, I could get one of those here someday. I didn't think it would be when I was in my 40s, but someday I could get one. But as I'm looking through these cars, I recently stumbled across a very similar car to what I have. So it was an LS2 2007 manual yellow. It had a glass roof and it had black wheels on it, and it was selling at a dealership locally. They had it listed for 24. It had 70,000 miles. I have 68, so about neck and neck with that. That car had an accident on it. That would be the one thing I don't have. I have a clean title with a very well maintained vehicle and no accidents. And I don't know what that car sold for, but they had it listed for 24,000. I didn't think it was going to sell as quick as it did in 5 days in Ohio. We had snow on the ground, but it sold real fast. Because I called the dealership trying to see if I could wheel and deal on trading them out or purchasing that glass top, and the car was already gone, unfortunately. So I missed out on that one. But as I was looking through these, so like I said, I kind of searched through whether it be Marketplace or Car Gurus or Auto Tempest pretty much daily. Like my dad would read the newspaper when I was a little kid growing up. So it's at the end of the night, I'm winding down, and my dad would sit there in the chair, read the paper. Kind of the same thing what I do, except I'm just on my phone and I'm looking at cars on the internet now instead of reading the news. But as I look at these cars, and a decision has to be made in my eyes, unfortunately, and I'm stumbling across something that becomes really appealing to me. And I'm noticing there's a big range and gap in these prices. So let me know what you guys think in your areas. And I'll put some pictures up for you guys real quick here so you can see what I'm talking about. But take a look at these. as you guys can see, these prices range from $60,000 down to about $22,000. Now these are C5 Z06s, and I'm thinking about maybe trading in or selling my C6 to get a C5 Z06. This was the second or maybe third C6 I looked at, but when I was shopping for Corvettes, I was actually in the market for the C5 Z06. That was primarily what I had narrowed down to what I thought I was going to be purchasing. It has some things to it that I actually like better, and this car has some things that I like better. For me, I'm not a track driver. I don't take cars to the track. As much fun as that sounds to me, the insurance piece, that just scares me a little bit too much. So I just don't do it. I've never taken a car on a track. I've never driven a car down a drag strip. Anything along those lines. It sounds like a blast. Maybe once I make enough money and I can afford to repair my car out of pocket, I'll do that. But right now, I don't do that. So this is actually a little bit more dailyable from that standpoint. The C5 Z06, I love them. I think it's one of the most beautiful Corvettes they've ever made, and it was just it was a little more track focused. Not with this C51 package now. They're very similar. They're neck and neck as far as horsepower, torque, everything like that. It's the C5 Z06 405. This C6 Z51, this car right here with an LS2, it's 400. They're literally neck and neck. I didn't notice a huge difference in some of the components. Like the suspension was different. The way that they rolled over bumps and drove were so different when I was evaluating these things. But I think the thing that I noticed, the biggest things that I actually kind of miss out on or gain, I guess we'll talk about both. But with this, as you guys know, I love the target top. Like, I get to drive this thing about 7 months out of the year, have that top off, makes that experience so much just more enjoyable to enjoy your summer car in the summer. That's why I was looking for the glass roof, just so when I drive this thing, I can let the sun in. And then I thought back on that. God, I remember how hot that car got when you left the windows up and parked it outside in the summer, and when I had my Camaro back, my first car in 1996. So, I'd probably keep both, depending upon, or hopefully like to have both tops. But back to the story. So as I'm hunting for these cars, and they're ranging from $22,000 to $60,000, I think it may be time for me to pick up a C5 Z06. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If this is going to be a completely ridiculous statement, but here's kind of some of my thoughts. As much as fun as this car is, and as much as I love it, I still have access to possibly buying it back in the future if I were to move on from it, in theory. So when I purchased this, I let my dad drive it because he's my dad, and we had those experiences together, and that's important to me. So we took out the Corvette, and I could just tell he really enjoyed it. He started shopping for Corvettes, and he's like, "Wow, you got a really good deal on that." And I feel like I did. I paid $24,000 on it. I negotiated the price down. The guy, I picked it up off of Marketplace. The guy had it listed for $26,500. And I ended up using a negotiation tactic from a book that I had and gave him a really well thought out number, and I offered him $23,961. And he came back with, "Can you do 24?" And at that point, it was pretty easy when the market was inflated. And I think I bought this with 64,000 miles on it, and I've had zero issues with it, no problem. So it's been a great car. But I was always looking for that C5 Z06, and as I stumble across these now and see them popping up for $20,000, and how much my dad really enjoyed driving this, I was thinking about selling or giving this to my dad and picking myself up a C5 Z06. With that being said, tell me what you feel, guys. So I think there's some things on the C5 Z06 that are going to make that car increase in value significantly better than this car in the next 10 years. And some of those things would be, so it's very analog versus this car. This has a little bit more electronic features. Now, it's still pretty analog, don't get me wrong, but it has like the electronic door releases for when you walk up to the car, you just literally pinch the door handle and it opens. It has the push button start versus a key start in the C5 Z06. So it's almost like it's just a bit more analog, and I think that's going to be one of those things that people are going to miss as we evolve to completely fully electric vehicles and everything's automated, and we don't have to do anything or even think for ourselves anymore. Personally, I feel like that would be something you're still going to want. The second thing I see that people are going to want in the future that you can't get anymore on cars, but this car has it, and we've talked about that. It's the manual rear-wheel drive V8s. So apples to apples on that comparison, not a big deal there. But the headlights. I love the pop-up headlights, and I know maybe a lot of enthusiasts feel that way. But I absolutely love the pop-up headlights on a C5 Z06. You can't get those on any other cars anymore. It's just not something they make. So it's one of those things. I think that's going to help that car go up in value. Another thing that I really think that'll help increase the C5 Z06 in the future is going to be there's a lot of C6s out there. There's not a lot of, at least from when I was shopping, guys, I don't see a ton of bone stock, unmodified C5 Z06s. When I was shopping for them, that was kind of one of the problems I was stumbling across initially. Is the cars I found that were not modified in a good price, they were sold before I could get there. I called them within the first half hour, 20 minutes of them being listed, and the car would be gone before I literally could get the person on the phone. Super frustrating. That's kind of the reason why I ended up buying this too. Is the gentleman I worked with and purchased this from, he was willing to work with me. It was a smooth transaction. It was quick. We used the same bank which I was going to withdraw the money from to pay him, and he was putting the money back in his account, so it was really seamless. The situation was just right, and so I came into my C6, and I don't regret purchasing it. But now that I'm starting to look at these every day, I'm seeing these C5 Z06s for 22 grand. It's just very appealing, and now I'm debating: do I sell this to my dad, give it to my dad, pick myself up an unmodified C5 Z06 that it may go up in value or may not go up in value. So let me know what you guys think. I appreciate the input and the feedback as always as we build and grow our community, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I have a lot of good other Corvette videos, so please feel free to check those out too by supporting us. Thanks so much as we grow, and I look forward to all the comments and replying to you guys. Talk to you soon.